start or should I start?
I'm just saying, okay, Walid is there. We got Hamad, we got some school prefect there. Say hi. We got Zubair over there. Hi, and Umaid. Okay, let's see. What do you have?
Our model is inspired by NASA's projection. There's been a question which has been popped up in people's and scientists' mind for the last decades. Is living in space actually possible? Can humans actually live in space? Well, if that was actually possible, it would look somewhat like this. To live in space, we need two things. First, we need water, and the other thing, we need energy. To get water, there are another two processes. First, we can directly bring it from the Earth using SpaceX reusable rockets, which take the water from the Earth, bring it to the moon, give it here, and go back. Or we can also use lunar gateways like the International Space Station. Other than that, astronauts recently found frozen lakes in the southern hemisphere of the moon. So this rover is designed in such a manner that it can go to those frozen lakes, it can collect the ice, it can bring it back, and it can melt it to get water. So that's two processes you can get water. Now, this is our rover. It's already landed in the moon. So it will get its water from the water dispenser. Now, before we go further, this is the non-living zone. Humans cannot live here. That's the living zone. This is a transition buffer zone.
Samad told this is the non-living zone and this is the living zone. We got a transition buffer zone. As soon before the rover enters the buffer zone, all the oxygen, the air is sucked in, so no oxygen or air can be raised out, and the room is completely depressurized. As soon as the rover enters the buffer zone, its detoxification starts with fumigation, etc. And the oxygen is pumped back in. Over here, we have made a model of oxygen pressure regulators with various instruments to check the pressure level, if there's any caution, if there's any problem or anything. We don't know if there is any bacteria or wire outside, so the rover should be completely detoxified with the help of fumigation, etc. If the rover is completely pure, if it's completely clean to enter the biosphere, the rover sends a message to this floor, and we have used a pulley system over here, which we have done in our previous classes, and we just applied it over here. And over here we have oxygen hydrogen generators. This oxygen, as Hamad told, we can get water from the southern hemisphere and from Earth by help of tanks. This oxygen hydrogenator is basically works by takes water, splits both into oxygen and hydrogen. Oxygen can be used for various living purposes for plants and humans, and the hydrogen can be used for the extraction for the rover and various activities throughout this one. This oxygen and hydrogen is pumped out with this pressurized motors, and over here we have hydroponic farming. And the second thing which is important is energy, which we got solar panels and micronuclear reactors. Solar panels will not be that efficient because it's going to be lunar nights. 14 days is going to be night and 14 days is going to be morning. So we need to keep the solar panels in the northern hemisphere, so it's going to be more efficient. But it's going to just stay for 14 days. On the 14 nights, we're going to use micronuclear reactors where two atoms are split to create a massive amount of energy for this, using for the various purposes throughout the This is what the NASA expects things to be. With the biosphere, they got the solar panels, they got the buffer zone, oxygen generators, hydroponic farming. This we have made a model of hydroponic farming over here, and this is what the NASA expects the rover to be, with various extraction tools, sensors, radars, and advanced technologies on it. This is just a prototype from the NASA's minds. We had just assembled it. How do you like our project, sir?
So, who are your team members?
Me, Hamad, Walid, Zubair, Niyat.
So that's Zubair, excellent work. That's Hamad.